So this is not only a historic occasion in the fact that our primogenitor is 90 years old, but this is the first Mechley party without alcohol.
So far.
Actually, going back in history, the first Al Mechley birthday party was in 1973. Al was 40 years old, and we had a sense of humor then, so we decided to dress up in black tuxedos, signifying that Al was not going to live too much longer. In any event, I appreciate everybody coming to pay tribute to our dear brother, our friend, and it's impossible to encapsulate Al's life in days or weeks. He's influenced everybody in this room in one way or the other, and I think often of Al as a young kid when he was my hero. And I think of a day when he was 14 years old. Mom and Dad and I went down to X-High because Al was going to perform. And in those days, they had a competition that involved the students, obviously. And one of the events was something that Al participated in. And we sat there among a group of people, and of course, Mom and Dad and I were not used to being involved in that big of a crowd, but out walks my big brother, 14 years old, and proceeds to give his, I forget what the competition was called.
Like an oratory competition?
Yeah, but it was a long name of, I'll think of it in a minute. So it went something like this. The sun goes up and the sun comes down, and the hands on the clock keep going around.
That's it.
I just get up and it's time to lay down. Life gets tedious, don't it?
That's it.
And I think often of that because tedious, of course, was another word for tedious and boredom. And there was nothing about Al's life that was boring after that. He went in the Navy. They sent him to Guam, the most boring place you could possibly go to. But Al was not about to tolerate boredom anywhere. He went to Germany after the war, and luckily he met the love of his life in Germany. And there he learned the German language, and he speaks to this day German more fluently than his lovely wife Margaret. But Al's brilliance was unbelievable. He went to XU. He worked during the day. He went to XU. He went to law school. He became one of the most successful trial attorneys in Cincinnati. And there was nothing boring about the way Al lived his professional career. I said to him one day, Al, you're fighting a big fight here. You know, you're in a lot of minorities, and you got this cowboy hat, and you got your philosophy keys, and you're smoking these big cigars. You realize that people are going to hold all those things against you. And he said, I just want to level the playing field. And we all know how he dealt with boredom, whether it was racing cars. he had this little apartment. The first time Eileen met him, he had big fish tanks in this little apartment. And he had the most exotic fish you can imagine in this fish tank. And there was a separate fish tank, and Eileen said, "What's in that?" He said, "Those are piranhas. They'll eat other fish." And she said, "Why does he have that?" I said, "Because he's Albert." His Weimaraner dog, his hunting, his fishing, his racing. There was no hill Al wouldn't climb. He decided to compete in the Ohio World's Fair. So he not only won first place riding an Appaloosa, or was it an Appaloosa or was it a whatever? Arabian. But he wound up with 21 horses. Why not overdo it, you know? So to know Al is to love him, and his accomplishments are so many and so varied. I'd like everybody to now sing happy birthday to my lovely, cherished brother Al.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Al. Happy birthday to you and many more.
That's something worthwhile, even though it took how many years? But it was worthwhile. It really was worthwhile. I would never have said that you could put together something like this, you know. And it's thanks to a number of people that this all came together. And so I want to thank each of them, but I have to thank them separately. I think it's hard to try to save Dan or this one or that one or somebody like that, because they're gonna all know where they belong. Or belong doesn't even cite it. So anyway, thank you all, and let's all have a good time.
All right. Here we go. Cloud, your birthday cake.
But after the singing, but
Thank you.
a small birthday cake.
And
It's fantastic, isn't it?
yeah, it
Do
really
you want to
is.
blow the candles out?
Yep.
Make a wish.
Make the wish.
All right.
And we would be remiss if we didn't acknowledge, obviously, Uncle Al just said an awful lot of people's good work that comes into making a wonderful thing like this happen, but in particular, my Aunt Terry, okay, who has just labored. She has not only, of course, the incredible work which you know she'd do with the food, but the whole arrangement with the place, organizing every detail, following up with so many people. And I know she will not be happy if I don't thank my two dear sisters, Heidi and Camille, who have been her helpmates. So if I know everyone, we've had lots of people already coming over, and I hope we'll continue to come over to visit with Uncle Al. But if anybody else had a toast they'd like to share, this is the time.
For anybody in the world that hasn't heard the story, how Al was home on leave from the Navy, and he took our mom to the hospital when I was born. And I believe you said that the one nurse or nun asked you if you were the father.
No, that's a true story.
It's a true story.
She thought he had stolen a baby somehow. You know, it was really weird. It scared me, you know, in those days, anything religious, if you acted just funny about it, you were in trouble. You were going to start getting. So I try to get out of that and then go ahead with the rest of it.
Terry, not to interrupt, but to interrupt. Tell him how he got home from the Navy.
Yeah. I was going to talk a lot about not a lot, but a number of things I remember about hearing about growing up. Al hitchhiked from California to Cincinnati. He didn't have the money. Hitchhiked all the way across the country. And then also while I was in the Navy, he would send our mom money every month out of his paycheck. So Mom could pay for the 10 younger siblings. So, toast to Al.
All right. Amen.
Okay, let's all have a good time now.
Anybody else?
No, anybody that wants to say anything, smell anything, do anything, come right ahead.
He's taking all comers. Well, I thought I would offer maybe not a toast, but a little German song that I know Uncle Al knows and likes that he heard over these years. The last time we visited here back in December, we sang it together. So maybe if he remembers any of it, he'll sing with me now. It's a cute old German folk song. Du liegst mir im Herzen, du liegst mir im Sinn. Du machst mir viel Schmerzen, weißt nicht, wie gut ich dir bin. Ja, weißt nicht, wie gut ich dir bin. Ja, weißt nicht, wie gut ich dir bin. That means you lie in my heart, you lie in my mind, you give me a lot of pain, you don't know how good I am to you. Draw your own conclusions. We love you, Uncle Al.
Thanks for everybody who had anything to do with this. I want to give you my thanks because I did not believe it could happen. And when they all said it was going to happen, and they said it was going to take 30 or 40, I said, who the hell are you kids thinking about? You know, you must be nuts. There ain't no
We
people.
are.
There ain't no people going to come down here like that. Well, here we are. It just
Al,
shows.
you remember Mom's 90th birthday party at Bailey?
Oh, boy.
And we had a nice birthday party for Mom. And at one point she said, "Oh, I heard a joke." And Mom did not have a sense of humor. So we were like astounded. And I said, "Mom, what was the joke?" She said, "Oh, it's great to be 90. You know why? You can hide your own Easter eggs." And then she said, "I don't get it."